Welcome to another amazing episode of Monday Night Live Chat with me and Jersey.
What's up, man? Did you get a new computer before anybody starts? Did you get a new computer or a new internet or whatever you were looking at?
I haven't done a thing. This is all just like last week, but I did have to reset the modem. So that happened like a week and a half ago, soon after we were having all the issues. And so far, I see 5 bars on this little thing. Where last week there was a huge like yellow triangle with exclamation point in the middle for like this is not going to work. So
isn't it funny though that like turning it off and turning it back on is a literal like answer to problems nowadays?
It's really the saddest thing. And literally that's what my app told me when I got on. It was like, just go reset the modem. I'm like, you have to be freaking kidding me. Like, that's it. And everything was fixed. Nothing was working for us at home at all for like a day. And we did that and boom.
What actually sucks is for the website, for WCR, sometimes people's cache, like on their own personal computer, gets all full. And they're like, your site's not working. It's like, if it's not working, trust us, we know instantly. And like, just redo your cache, like empty that. And they're like, it's not going to work. I'm like, just try it.
I never knew like what that all was until I started working at WCR and it started popping up. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I had never deleted that up till then. And I deleted, my computer works so much better. If you're online and everything's like slow, delete your cache and then you're good to go. It's like literally it.
Do you remember your cookies? Like, you're old enough for that. Remember delete your cookies? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not just for adult websites. It's for anything. You can.
No, it's for everything. Yep. If you just want to clear out, everything online, just clear the cookies. Why?
Speaking of, how's your OnlyFans page going with all your squeegee pictures? It's going pretty good.
Amazing. It's amazing. Nice. Yep. It's been really, really good. I get that one's up to like 41,000 subscribers, so it's bigger than anything else I have.
That's good. Yep. That's because you accidentally posted that foot picture that one time and it just went
well.
Crazy.
I have guest stars sometimes, like Mike Nichols. Yep, grubs for skinny people. People love grubs, skinny fetish.
Yeah,
it's going really far south.
This is going so up. All right, that's the show for. What's up, by the way? To All In is here. Window Guys, of course, is here. That's Austin's dad. What's going on? Paz Window Cleaning. What's going on? Paz, is your first name Brandon? I'd like to ask that. Victor, what's going on? Chris, what's up? Henry, how is it? James, Abel, name brands here. A whole bunch of you. Roman, what's up? Evan Stomps, of course, here. If you're here, say what's up. Say hello. And, tell me how much you would pay for a picture of Steve's foot. That's today's question.
Oh, gosh. My right big toe was crushed in 7th grade. You would not want to see me.
It probably is.
Really, really bad. And I have hair on every single toe. Just out there, never shaved it. Trust me, my wife would tell you do not want it.
Nice. I could, I have the whole second toe bigger than the rest, and my wife hates it.
I have a pinky. My pinky toe goes over my other toe like this.
You're old, like hammer toes.
But it's all my mom's side of the family. Her mother had it, and so all of us, our pinky toe is like that on the foot.
It's because you wear those high heels are bad for you, man. I'm telling you.
They are. They really cram everything in. You got to get used to it.
This show is just going off though. See, we go back to regular schedule of like every 2 weeks, and this is what happens. Victor's the only one who wants to buy a foot picture. He offered his bid is $1.23. So right now, high for Steve's foot pictures is $1.23. Just Jacob's here, so I know he'll be putting up some big money for that.
Yep. He always does. He sends me a lot of money privately. It's weird.
He's a Patreon foot.
Yeah. It's great. We're talking about the most important subject you've ever talked about with window cleaning, and that is, do you even need a squeegee to be a window cleaner? Now, if you've been here before, you know how the topics go with our chats. We hardly talk about them. But if you have any feedback, put in the comments what you think about this day and age. Some people really feel like they don't need it. So
the question is one answer. If you're watching right now, just put one answer, yes or no. Yes, you need a squeegee, or no, you never need a squeegee. Just put that in. I would like to see where it is, because the OG window cleaners will say, yeah, like 100% you need one. But like the new age people are like, no, like I just do outsides. I don't need it, which is crazy if people can do that, by the way.
Right. Exactly. Just Jacob, I don't think you were here last week, but last week we had or 2 weeks ago, I had tons of internet issues. So saying that I'm frozen, everyone's used to it. So I apologize if that happens again. We'll get it figured out at some point.
If Steve gets frozen, I just awkwardly try to finish the conversation, and then
you're really good at it. You're really good at it.
Did you watch any of these? Every time you freeze, your face is like this. Like it's perfect. Like like if I freeze, it's like I'm in the middle of a sneeze, you know.
Good. Let's see. Yeah, and then we had our first question from Bright Vision Window Cleaning. Quick question about my Xero Max. What's the most ppm it can handle? Did a house where it was 430. Your system can handle that. Yep, definitely.
You just blanked over the Xero Max part. And I was like, what did he say? I like clicked on the chat. Xero.
It's like some people call it Xerox, you know,
Xerox.
Stuff like that. It happens. But yes, RODI systems are meant to handle hard water that high. RODI systems can handle 1600 ppm. So that's why you got an RODI system, was to handle that. So you're in good shape.
By the way, if you're watching right now, thumbs up and heart the video a whole heck of a lot. You guys' comments is going amazing, and it helps the algorithm. Nobody knows who SteveO the window cleaner is, and he just wants people to know. So if you would heart the video and comment, he would get some subscribers. So do that.
Please do.
By the way,
what kind of giveaway should I do at 40,000?
That's a big one.
I kind of have to do something big. I was thinking of a drone, or I don't know what. You guys will have to tell me in the comments what would be, like, seriously, what would be, because I really want to do that. Like, I want to do a good giveaway, like like $1,000 and under. Like, that's where I'd be like good at. Like, I would really do something like that.
I was just gonna say that's kind of exciting with the drone, because A, you do footage, but B, people can use a drone to get super wicked videos for the company.
Yeah,
it's kind of good until you know that somebody's gonna like crash it on the first time, and then you're like.
I saw a video of a guy who was putting up one of those, not like a soft wash one, but like a huge one. He put it up in the road, and then he drives it on the road, and a car comes by and just smashes it.
That's like 40 G's done.
Yeah, done. Let's see here. A window cleaning kit. Well, you know, something different than that. Because, you know, we all can buy window cleaning stuff. That's why I like to give away like cameras every once in a while, because it gives you options. Like, it's not all window cleaning. Like, I had a thought. This is going to take us totally off track of all this, though.
Please.
What other industries do you think there is where there is something like this at night, where there's something like Squeegee life at night, where there are so much interaction away from your job? Like, what other job do you really know or can think of? I mean, pressure washing, they definitely do it, but like us window cleaners who are involved in this like social network of everything encompass it and like do it all day. Is it too much? Is it too much?
I don't think it's too much. I think we have our own culture. Like, there's no other like industry like ours. And I always say that, and people are like, yeah, there is. But there's like, we talk about this all the time. There's podcasts and magazines and live streams, and like Squeegee Life is its own live stream. There's other podcasts, and like there's videos. We do live content all day long. There's thousands of YouTube videos. People have their own YouTube channels. And then there's still all of these nerds that are in this room with us right now who are watching window cleaning and hanging out. Hopefully just with their feet up, you know, shoes off, just spending time with people who are in the industry. I don't think there's any other industries like it.
Right. That's what I was kind of thinking, was like, man, like who else does this? Like, no other job that I ever had before this was there a group of people. But I'll be quite honest, I really didn't know there was such a large group of people until I worked with Jim, and he actually told me about the Pro Window Cleaning group like back in 2014 or something like that. And then that was my like whole introduction into like this whole entire crazy world. I don't know. It's just a random thought I had of like, man, like it's just insane to think just how many people get involved in this, but then how many people we know that don't get involved in any of the social media at all. Like, this is strictly a day job. This is strictly like there's so many people that you and I talk to that we never even see on here or never hear about, like, other than 8 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Exactly. I love being a nerd though, because I feel like if I'm in the industry as much as I am, I have to know so much more than the next guy. Like if you're watching this, even this or anything, and there's other window cleaners in your area, you just genuinely know more than they do because it's just everything is covered. It's not just like, here are the things you should learn. And then they talk about it. Like you're soaking in so much more info. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I dig it.
it is. It's crazy. Let's see here. Tony. When should I start window cleaning? When summer starts?
You should start window cleaning yesterday. The second best time is today. If it's too late today, then tomorrow's your day.
Also, wintertime, if it is winter where you are, wintertime is a great time to go out and try to get new work because there is quite a bit of people that sometimes just do like a very seasonal window cleaning job like in the spring and ditch it in the winter. So it can be a really good time to pick up like storefronts. You're not going to do a whole bunch of residential, but if you get in with like realtors and stuff, that can provide you like a lot of good residential work for the winter if you want it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like never a perfect time to start, and every job that you don't do from now until summer is just putting you that farther behind. So start as soon as you can.
I would say that the overall answer was yes, you do need a squeegee, and I would fully agree. But there's just a lot more people now just doing exterior and all that fun stuff.
I would love to read the next question.
Oh,
to the group.
Go ahead.
Tony said, "What do I do to get more customers when door-to-door isn't working for me?"
Yes, please preach.
I hate door-to-door. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think it's awful. It's not our industry. We're a luxury business. There's lots of things. I want people in the comments to also jump in and tell me or you what other things to do. But I find that an interesting question, the door-to-door thing, because the answer is everything else. Like door-to-door is one piece of the puzzle, but there's everything from Craigslist being free to SEO that's paid to, Facebook ads, which takes time, to EDDM, which costs money. Like everything else is better than door-to-door except golf scorecards and billboards. Those are the only other two things I don't like.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've been getting this question so much too, like just about door to door, and there's just so many other ways to do it. Like the first question I'll always ask is, what other forms of marketing are you doing? Do you have a website? Have you done door hangers? Have you tried every door direct mail? Are you posting daily about the work that you do on any sort of free social media like Facebook? Have you created a Google My Business? Have you tried Google Ads? Have you tried Google Local Service Ads? And you know what typically the answer to all of those is no on all of them. And those are all really, really good ways to do it. There's nothing wrong, in my opinion, of going door to door if you can create a customer out of it. I know that many people aren't going to love it, but if that's the way you have to start, many people are going to start in the way that they just have to do it. And I totally get that. But I would just say that there's also so many things that you have to do with it. That are really good.
I think there's a difference between the whole now and like then, like creating a job versus a business, and that's where I think a lot of people do door knocking, and it's because if you door knock and somebody says yes, then you have a job. But like if you go and do, like you said, Google My Business, or getting reviews or SEO or ads or all that other stuff takes time, but that's how you build a super strong company. Like there's nobody anywhere in window cleaning, I think, and I get this, people yell at me all the time, but they just door knock. Like if you spend 8 hours a day door knocking and you're like, I got $1,200 in job, well, then you really got tomorrow's $1,200 worth of work. And then you don't do anything until the next day when you have to go door knock again all day. And it's like, there's so many better ways to kind of do that than like the slow build,
Right. No, I hear you. Sorry, I was reading through some of these questions, but yeah, there's just so many things you could do beginning work. I really want to go real quickly to Victor's question about, I've been trying to get accounts with car dealerships near me. Can't crack that nut. Any tips, guys? I would say with dealerships, man, like I know the way we got ours, like unfortunately this is not a great tip, but it was by one total random, like seeing the people out, or two, many car dealerships are family owned. Not all of them, but typically we cleaned homes of people and they were like, oh, we have a dealership. I would say too, like with that, oh man, dealerships are a hard one. I would say that in the same way that you got commercial work or any stuff like that about going in, getting the right contact for facilities and following up, and also creating a good plan for them. I think a really good plan for dealerships is you do a bid on every single window in that dealership. You do garage doors, you do partitions, you do every single thing, and you put them on a schedule of outside only every 4 weeks, and then you do in and out every quarter. And in that in and out, you're doing partitions as well. But then also all garage doors every time, but you don't do inside every time. You do outside every time. Car dealerships is what I think I've spent the most time of my life like cleaning, and there's so much work to do there. And they want it to look good. Like you think about car dealerships, they have to redo like their buildings like every 10 to 15 years to keep up. So they always want to keep everything clean. So if you go to a dealership and you see dirty windows, that's definitely something I'd go after. But I would say one thing I think that we always messed up on with dealerships that I think was like a reason we had lost one of our like biggest dealerships we ever had. We were always cleaning these dealerships during the day. And I always questioned that. Like we always got there like Monday mornings, probably the least busiest time like for a dealership. But we lost this huge account. I always thought, was it due to that we were there like during business hours and they really wanted a company that should have been there cleaning the insides and not been around like while work was going on? But then we do so many accounts like that, and there's not a lot of these graveyard shifts with window cleaning that I always got confused with that. But then the other dealership we had, we were always just, cleaning them during the day. But I know I really went off topic there, but cleaning dealerships can be so good. They're such good accounts. You can lose them from absolutely like nothing. They can, know a friend or something like that. We lost our biggest dealership ever that way. But man, like you can create a really good schedule and have a lot of really good work with dealerships. There's so much class.
Yeah. That I don't know that doing it during the day, be seen and not heard. That's definitely it. Don't drip on the guys, because if you upset a salesman, then you've upset the company. So don't drip on anything, obviously. But the other thing is they're open from like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So like, when would you go there? And in North Carolina here, they're even open on Sundays. So it's like,
oh wow,
yeah. So it's like, well, when would you go do it then?
Wait, all dealerships in North Carolina are open on Sundays?
They can legally. We're in Wisconsin. We couldn't. You couldn't. There's not anything that has a dealership attached. Like you couldn't even go get your car fixed if it was connected to a dealership. They didn't even have it open. So
yeah, that is the same thing in Colorado. I've never ever seen a dealership open on Sunday at all.
Yeah, it's great money, but I agree with you wholeheartedly that they will drop you for nothing.
Yeah.
Like there's no rhyme or reason, and because they're such big accounts, see, like if you lose like a $10 storefront, it's not, you're like, oh, whatever, all right. But if you lose like a $700 a month dealership, you're like, I kind of.
This was a 5 to 10 grand a month dealership, and just boom, out of nowhere, an email that said, we are putting you on a 60-day service hold, or like whatever. And I remember, like when me and Jim talked about it, I was like, how? Like what happened? And you know what the hardest thing about it is, you can't search for an answer. You can't really like call them and be like, why? Like you can call them and say, hey, like anything we can do. But if they say like, nope, you're like, okay. Shoot.
Yeah, they're like, oh, a new general manager came in and he's making the budget look good, so he looks good. Like there's no rhyme or reason. Like
or they like, I remember having accounts where like Noodles and Company, you'd be doing it every week. A new manager would come. Their idea of clean wasn't the same idea as the last manager of clean. They're like, oh, this is way too much. We can do this once a month. Yeah, once a month is totally fine. Outside only. Oh my gosh. Like, and it's part of like a schedule that you have, and it just like messes up everything, and you go back, reorganize.
And then that same guy calls you up and is like, dude, these windows look terrible. And it's like, yeah, because you have us do it once a month and it hasn't been done in 3 weeks.
Exactly. Oh man. But Victor, dealerships can be super, super awesome. So like go for them. But I mean, there's so many different people you can talk to. Usually facilities is what I always went for, but there are so many dealerships that are typically family owned that like if you can get in with one of them. And then the nice thing about being at dealerships is just like any other big commercial business you're going to do, you are going to clean everybody's windows in there as far as their homes. Like everybody. It's a great account to get.
It is like wildfire when you get a dealership, especially where we're from too. There's dealership like, say, Randy Marion is here in North Carolina. It's like a big name car dealership. You know, everybody's got that one where you know the name. It's usually a guy's first and last name. But if you get one of them, you end up being like the Randy Marion guy, and you end up picking up like, oh, we have 7 dealerships in this town, and then there's like 6 in the town over, and like so you're like picking up 20 dealerships if you do get it. But you can also lose 20 dealerships in, you know.
Oh yeah.
In a fart. I don't know.
That's okay to say.
Yeah. Dude, I went through 2008. In 1 week, I lost 3 car dealerships, which at the time, I mean, I was still newer, so they really hurt me, but it wasn't 10 grand a month. But
right.
It was like literally I got a phone call like 15 minutes later. I got a phone call from a different dealership altogether. They weren't partners or anything. And the next day I got another call and I'm like, what is going on? Like, and it was all because it was 2008. Like the housing, everything just was like diving.
I remember we thought that was going to happen right when COVID hit. And luckily our main people that had about, I forget, maybe 12 to 15 dealerships that we did, but then they also had just like regular buildings where like leasing was going on, just different stuff like that all stopped, but they kept all the dealerships going because during that time too, I think during like COVID, there was actually really good interest rates on like the cars. So people were still buying cars. And then like Ford was doing like 0%. We even bought a car during then because it was so good. It was like, why wouldn't we do it?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I almost have my truck paid off, and I got it in, I think it was right after that, but I just happened to look at the thing, 3.2% I got on my vehicle. I'm like,
yep. Yeah.
What do you think though, with the rates being as high as they are? So people aren't going to be buying cars. People like you aren't going to be moving because they're just like instantly double their payment and don't even have a more expensive house for double the payment. Like, where do we go from here when things were so good at that point?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Because I feel like we don't see it too much in our end. I mean, we've had a great year as far as that goes. And then I don't really hear it expressed too much as it was during other times of like, during the winter, we always get like, oh man, times are tough. But I haven't really heard that from anything. And you guys tell us in the chat, like, it's been a really nice, warm November. Like as much as we had that little cold spell for like a week, like all over the country, now it's back to this warm weather. We're in like the 60s, 70s here every day. Everyone's getting work done. I've had tons of calls. I mean, so it's kind of like you see all this stuff going on, but then everything is still flowing. Like I haven't really heard of much people losing any accounts. There was like a little time there, I feel like in like midsummer where people talking about like a lot of small storefronts closing down, but that's kind of stopped. Like it's kind of, I feel like at this pause where like hopefully like springtime, maybe we kind of go back to some good stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's more the beginning of a season. Every time the beginning of a season happens, your brain, because in business owners, our time runs so slow that like we forget when it gets slow, and then it gets slow and you're like, oh my gosh, what is going to happen? But it's just getting into winter. So it's not really slow. It's just, so. And coming off such a good time though, it's I definitely can think and like feel it a little bit for like, the like money management side, but I don't know if it'll do, because we're supposed to get another quarter% raise. So rates will drop probably in June.
Yeah.
Rates will drop in June. And once rates start dropping, it'll kind of, prompt the economy, but also don't think that our houses really care because they just have it done. Like if somebody's got $1 million view, unless they're like really riding that edge, they're like, okay, I'm going to pay a couple $100 to get this view, $1,000 or whatever. So
yeah, exactly. And that is the nice thing. Like we always talk about like window cleaning is the first thing to go, but really, I mean, that really talks about when you're cleaning businesses and like that's an expense to go. But when you're in the residential world, Like, yeah, if you're doing it for a real estate person and they're really strapped, okay, that might go away. But then all the other stuff that you have that's really good clients that they have this extra money that they just, throw at it. That's not really going to go away,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And it's always going to be there. The people don't ever get rid of windows. Like
right.
every house will still have windows. It's just like, it's just a season. So,
right. Hey, I want to answer this quick question because Abel just brought it up. How much would I charge per window on the dealer? I'm gonna guess he's saying dealership. He said on the dealer window. What would you say first?
Man, it's hard because there's some windows that are like 20 feet tall, some panes of glass. Like I've had some giant panes where I'm like, okay, so this is going to be like a 3-stage window. So, man, it varies, but I still stick to that kind of routish plus. So because of the pain in the butt with dealing with desks, dealing with, papers and customers and everything else, especially new cars, not smashing into a hood or something.
Yeah.
I'm at like a commercial pricing, basically, not route pricing.
Yeah. I always do dealerships. I always do $2 a side. And if it's like a super large window, I'll do $3 a side. My only thought about that, but that has to be on like you're cleaning at least the outside of that window every 4 weeks. So like every month, have to be at that. Garage doors, $1.25, $1.50 a side. And that's pulling everything. That's never bringing out a ladder. Like I really wouldn't even do probably water fed, bring that out for like anything like that. That is all like quick, simple maintenance cleaning that's super fast. I mean,
here's the question for you and everybody who's watching too. But would you do a route job if they wanted to go? I mean, you said monthly, so I already know it's monthly. But if somebody's like, "Hey, I want to get it done every 6 weeks," would you do that, or would you say no? Because I only did weekly or biweekly.
Yeah, I always said no. I said you can either do every 4 weeks or you can do every 8 weeks at that, because I always told people you not to be like selfish or to be like, you have to do it my way. It was, you have to, if we're going to sign you up with us, I have to do you in my schedule of being in that area. I can't be, coming over here on a random day just to get you clean to keep you, because then I'm losing money. So, But then I felt like every time I put that out there, they're like, oh, totally cool. Like, no problem. That sounds good.
We switched to everybody except for 2 people over, and then everybody. So like some of our first customers were still monthly, because it was like one guy was a guitar shop that I like just did a bunch of stuff for, so I got free like instruments and things from him, And then the other one was a pet store that's like super small old timer who just was in a pet store for like ever, and they didn't want to change. I didn't push it. Everybody else was every 2 weeks or every week.
Yeah, I think the hardest one is when you get somebody that's every 2 weeks, but then one of theirs doesn't work in anything that you have, but you want to keep them. So then you try to say, okay, now I'm going to grow a route on that date in that area and just build that. And then it's always kind of like, is this all going to work out?
Yeah. Randy, real quick, 3-stage. That's just my babble for like scrubbing the top third, squeegeeing the top third, scrubbing the middle, squeegee. Like you have to stop so that the window doesn't dry out. If you try to do a big pane all together, then you end up getting everything dry, and then you're chasing these dry marks and you hate life. So just cut it short.
Yeah. Other great questions here from, let's see, did I miss any, man?
By the way, Glassy Lady's here. I think she's gone now, but she was here.
Oh, man.
I just want to say hi to her.
Really big drop off after we said nerds.
It might have.
Like 15 people left. I was like, oh, man.
I love being a window cleaning nerd. I'll take it. But
no, we're all
apparently not. Mike Nichols doesn't like it.
That's okay.
Austin's dad is too sensitive.
Who is? Oh, that's my. When you said that, I was like, oh my gosh, man! Like, is Austin's dad actually? This is crazy. Yeah. How would he be in here? One good question though I wanted to answer. Weatherman Rain YT said, "What do you all think about gutter cleaning?" I think gutter cleaning is a great add-on for residential window cleaning. I'm not the biggest. I don't love to do it. I'd say that it always pays well. Gets yourself into some tricky situations. Where I got to on gutter cleaning was that if a job was just too unsafe or that I needed to do all the roping off, I just declined at that moment. Now we have a lot of things nowadays like, gutter vacs and different tools that help as far as being on the ladder and being able to pull the leaves towards you and stuff like that can get you out of weird situations. But I don't know. I think it's it's definitely a great add-on. You have all the tools to do it. I do think sometimes the quickest way to do it is just a ladder and a bucket and gloves.
A lot of times it is, unless you got like the perfect situation for some of the other stuff. It's and I would say if you're doing gutter cleaning, raise your minimum. Like I just kept raising it. I think when I left it was $299, and if people are like, oh my gosh, I have a 1-story. Yep, I'll go. Okay, well, get it done. Like, and then I would get, and it would make sense for me to get, I'm making $600 an hour doing gutter cleaning. It's fine. But if you're like struggling to make your normal time with gutter cleaning, then why step over dollars to make pennies at that point?
Yeah. And like we talked a little bit about gutter vacs lately. You guys probably have seen it more if you've seen some of like the videos on window cleaning resource and stuff. Gutter vacs, what's nice about them is that they're a good tool for those gutters that you can't really get to easily. They're not like the holy grail or anything like that, but they are going to give you that option to get stuff that's super, super high up there in a safe way. I would say that's the really nice thing. It's like what water fed pole is for window cleaning. It just creates that safe avenue to do it. It doesn't do great from my experience on like pine needles. That was the only thing that it really didn't do too great on. Everything else really did well. But I started using one, and then I was like, okay, I'm only leaving this for like the hard. If I have a job and I'm like, okay, I can't reach that area, I'm bringing it. But if I can reach everything, I'm just doing ladder and bucket.
Yeah, that's the best thing gutter vacs for, like those dormer gutters where you're like, the ones where you like walk up the steep thing and you can just barely look in there. Yeah. I like it for a lot of things, like you said, though. Like if a gutter's super gross and mucky and full of gross like mud and squirrel poop, then I'll just suck them up like if they're wet. But I wouldn't use it for like just a normal run, dry leave gutter kind of thing.
Yeah. You see some of the videos out in like the UK. The gutters are so much different than the gutters that we have here. Like, and you just hear that like cone shaped thing just scratching up the inside of the gutter and just going at it. But it's always wet over there, it looks like. So it just works fantastic there.
Yeah. That's one thing that I have to say, like we're here, it's been like the longest drought in North Carolina, like history in the past 90 years or something. It just would be a very bad time to do a gutter vac because the leaves are so crispy and dry. They just like don't really work, but it's great for those gutters that you don't want to like, oh man, this gutter's so full of you can almost smell the gutters from the ground.
Oh yeah.
Gutter vac, baby.
Yep. Exactly. Nick Wazda, have you guys ever done Christmas lights? Man, I have never done Christmas lights as a business. I've never done it because I've never wanted to be involved in it during Christmas time. Never.
Yeah. Well, I forget. You're a big Christmas light.
Christmas time fan. I got my lights up. It was done last weekend. Everything's done. Everything's good to go. Everything's holly and jolly.
I hate putting Christmas lights up with a passion, but I did Christmas lights. I hate doing it for myself. I did it 2 times or 1 time here because my wife would beg me every year, and I'm like, with my dumb brain, if I go, I'm gonna go, and I went crazy, and it was great. Like there's always traffic in front of our house, like people stopping, and like it was awesome, but it was so just sucky, but a lot of money.
So you don't put them up anymore? Oh man!
But I got like $2,000 in lights. I just like either threw away or they're up somewhere.
Man, you're just at like just dark house on the neighborhood, just like, oh, that guy's not jolly.
I got a little app on my phone that I can change the color of my light bulbs in I'll put 1 red and 1 green. Done. Boom.
You should get jellyfish lighting.
I don't know what that is.
Jellyfish lighting? It's permanent lights they install in your home that like go underneath the eaves. And then you just have this like nice light cascade down. I'm getting them next year. I called them this year, but they were out until January, so I let it go. But man,
I saw that like on TikTok, but I thought it was just some weird like Temu Chinese something where you like glue it.
There's probably a Temu one. I mean, you could definitely probably buy a whole set for your house for
$17. Yeah.
But your house may burn down.
Well,
so
technically,
make an insurance claim. Don't make it. See what you want to do. Randy Brusso asked, what insurance limits do most of all use? I'm guessing 1 million liability. That's what I always did, was 1 mil.
1 mil, 2 mil aggregate.
Yeah. So I always had people either ask for 2 mil for like a project. And we would up it for like 1 month for that project and then down it for from there.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
Man, I was talking to a guy just last week, and because he got dropped into like a general contracting like tier, they this place that he's doing a bunch. I mean, he's like 6 buildings, like I mean, a big like 6-figure thing. They want him to do $5 million insurance policy.
Wow.
And to make it even more difficult, are the buildings on the project that they're doing is all the time, like every month. So he can't just like put it on there and then take it off. And it would add like, I mean, the amount of money because it's window cleaning that high is like, he told me the numbers and it just doesn't even make sense. Like how you could have to charge that makes no sense at all.
What's the term for like when someone like that wants to get added to your insurance, but they want to be a
their certificate. Yep.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I know what you're talking about. They had to be put as not a certificate. I want to say a certificate holder. It's not a certificate holder, but yes. Anyway, yeah, where they get actually signed into the contract so that they're listed as one of the payouts for that job.
Or no, it's like on your actual general liability insurance. They're like on there as like also covered, like.
They're a collector basically.
Yeah. I had a customer want to do that one time, and this guy did like $500 worth of work for us a year, or like that's the one job we did was no, there's no way. He's like, well, that's going to cancel our relationship. Well, that's fine.
Yeah, additional insured maybe.
Yes, additionally insured.
There you go. Now they're all saying, yeah, that's one of those. I had 2 or 3 people that were additionally insured, but they were like. There were projects that we were there all the time. Like we did a whole bunch of stuff. Like our janitorial division did stuff for them. So we were there like every day. I was like, yeah, whatever. Cool. Like just cover everything. Yeah. But like on the normal thing, because another certificate holder and additionally insured costs you money. It's like $500 to be a name put on there.
Yep. Exactly.
Which is crap, by the way. But
yeah. It's always something.
It's like when you call like your phone company or like, you know, cable or whatever. And they're like, oh, you want the faster service? Like, yeah, like, okay, I'll take your card. And they do it and they go, bloop, bloop, bloop. All right, now it's faster. It's like, man, you could have done that all the time. Like, how much does it really cost you to put somebody's name on a certificate? Like, it doesn't cost you $500.
No,
scammers.
Not at all. It's just another fee. Always a fee. What else thing was on here? $1 million liability. Oh my gosh, Chris Thomas, any pointers using Sprayway? Any pointers? You did a video on Sprayway. Tell us all about Sprayway.
I did. Yeah.
Yes.
Sprayway is one of those things that's like you almost want to make fun of people for it, but it's so good. Like in the right situation, especially like French windows, so great. So great. You just like make a little blob right in the middle and then just no squeegee, no scrubbing, just use a hook. It's done.
You do this for French windows?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I haven't like scrub and squeegee to French window in probably, I mean, the first 2 years of business, maybe. And never since then have I. When I started doing that, I was like, this is so much better. You're not chasing drips. You know, like you got a 6/6 or, you know, say a 9/9 even or whatever it is. Every one of those things is going to drip and you're going to like go over it all. And it's got that weird gummy glazing that's just going to hold water and then it's going to drip. And with spray foam, there's none of that. All you do is just buff it off and you're good.
I only did spray foam, I think maybe on like 3 jobs ever in my life. And
really?
It was for the French windows where it has 9 cutouts. It has the 4 super small corners. And those were the only things I ever did Sprayway on. Were like those. And that was it. I squeegee the rest.
I had one job that was this. People had 3 houses in town, and the one they called like the lake house was literally like 1.1 miles away from their other house. Is hilarious. But anyway, big monster houses. The ones were like, you know, this beam that I have here is from the 1810 sunken ship called whatever. Anyway, and they had all French windows, and I charged $899, and it took me 20 minutes to do the outside because I had water fed. They loved it because I mean that was the price before water fed anyway. But then when we would go and do the inside, it would just be 4 guys in that house with spray foam. Just yep. And she'd always be like, "Oh, my house smells so good when it's done." It's just like that ammonia smell. But that was it because everything turns out so well with that spray foam. There's never a drip. There's never a smear. There's never anything. It's pretty nice.
Gosh, I always felt like
You do feel like a dirtbag charging somebody to use it.
I always felt like it got so hazy, like so fast after it, that I never liked it.
How'd you wash your towels?
Huh?
How'd you wash your towels?
Ooh, you're not gonna like this one either.
I already know the answer because you just told me it's hazy windows, but
yeah, but like, I just
that's not why though. I'm just saying that's
not why. That's not why. Yep. Yeah, I put when I wash my towels, man, I detergent. Bloop, 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 bloop. I gotta have that stuff smell good. I used to really, I don't know if I talked about this once, I used to really piss off Alfredo because every once in a while I would add softener in just to piss him off. So the towels.
I'm sorry. So Steve is no longer a part of oh my god. You make my everything hurt when you say that. I just imagine chasing every little like hazy marker. Like, what is that? You're like,
he was like, dude, why can't this absorb anything? I was like, what are you talking about? Like, what's going on? Oh, the towels, they feel so soft. And I'd be like, I just don't know. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Dude, I threw away a washing machine one time, or no, a dryer, because I swore that the dryer, like the drum in there was like coated in fabric softener. So I got a new dryer for the shop.
See, to me, this whole idea of like, okay, so I did it for a while. I did it for like 2 to 3 years of washing my towels without any detergent. And then I just, it was like one time I was like, man, like it just doesn't smell that great. Like it just doesn't smell that good. So I washed the detergent. I was like, oh my God, this smells so good. I love it. And then boom, I've just always done with detergent since then. But then again, like I'm not the type, like I have some people when they get like a Xero fish scale towel and they detail window, they're like, it leaves behind a little bit of like microfiber stuff. I'm like, who cares? Like who's gonna see that? Who's gonna see that?
You start talking about how you're not using detergent and fabric softener, and I haven't seen one F in the comment yet. I just figured everybody was just going to be slamming the F key, just, you know.
Everyone wants to smell good. You don't. It's okay.
That's true. That's true.
You don't have a smell, so you're good.
That's true. I only have one nostril that works anyway, so maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, you're totally fine. Oh, there's people doing like big eyes and the little heart emoji. This whole emoji thing is crazy. It comes up the whole entire time. There's faces and celebration and all this crap.
Everybody should be hitting all of the emojis all the time and commenting and thumbs upping and everything else because it just helps the algorithm. As we go into winter, it's going to be busier and busier. So
it is. It
just helps it more.
Okay, so Chris Thomas wants us to elaborate on this real quickly. If you were going to wash your towel, you get home at night. Oh, you're so tired from running your business, but you haven't washed your window that day. But you're coming in and you're washing your towels. What are you going to do? What are you doing when you get to the washer? What buttons are you pushing?
To wash my towels?
Yeah.
Hot. That's it.
Hot. Even with microfibers. Hot.
Done. When it's done, I put it in the dryer and put it on air dry.
But then the hot with the microfiber, that will.
I'm a real window cleaner. I don't use microfiber towels.
They're so good.
No, that's me hating on microfiber because I have like window cleaner hands, which are awful, and microfibers feel terrible. But microfiber towels, like regular ones, not like the Squeegee Life ones, but like just regular ones, are hydrophobic. They just push water around. Like people are like, when I detail a window, it leaves a line. That's because you're just pushing water, doesn't absorb it. So you have to go with a Huck towel, surgical towel, and I didn't use microfiber anything except sleeves.
So I love the fish scale towels. I've used those for years. So some people are asking like how we wash those. I wash those with normal detergent. I always do cold water. I never do warm water ever because I don't want to mat the microfiber at all. And I do this with my sleeves as well. Always cold water. Air dry microfiber sleeves, microfiber towels. Those all I just do on air dry as well, and that's it.
The only thing that I've ever I used to use Pulex Micro Tigers, and this is not the views of SteveO and the window cleaning channel here, but this is my views alone. But I like those for the first time using them, and then as soon as you like pull them out of the dryer, like, oh, this is hot garbage now.
Yep.
So I didn't do that. Like those ones, those got toasted pretty quick. But like Ettore Pro Plus sleeve, they just last forever. They don't get matted. They just like,
yeah. Yeah, 100%. Micro Tiger, that's the exact experience I had with it. The first one ever, I was like, dude, this is amazing. This has so much scrubbing power. And boom, after the first wash, completely done. Not good anymore.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. If you think about it, every scrubber you've ever used and every towel you've ever used has soap in it. And it's done.
Yeah. But,
like, even if you wring the thing, even if you wring it out, it's still there. I don't know. That's why that was at least where my brain was. And very seldom, I never had a stinky towel. I mean, I did after using it, but like never after wash would I be like, oh, this thing still smells. Like, never did I have that. Like,
I had one of my big bath towels over my shoulder today, and I was like, I swear I washed this last night, but gosh, it smells like cat piss. I just kept smelling cat piss, and I'm like, I don't have a cat. Like, what's going on? Like, oh man, oh, it's so bad.
So much worse. Whose cat am I smelling? Yeah, I haven't cleaned windows professionally in a long while, and I still can close my eyes and smell dirty towels.
Oh yeah,
like that musty. It's been in the truck. It's just hits me in the back of the throat. I could still smell it. I thought we should have air fresheners. If we could ever get that scent, do dirty towel air.
Yeah, right, exactly. The funny thing is like I don't wash windows that much, but I still have my towels in my truck all the time. And every time my wife gets in, she's like, "No, we're not taking this car. We're going in my car. We're not doing this." I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
Most of them are clean. What are you talking about?
Actually, a funny story of when I first ever started using a lot of different sleeves, and I was cleaning a lot of route, and I broke my shoulder, and I was out for like 6 months. No, maybe like 3 to 4 months. During that 3 to 4 months, all of my window cleaning gear just sat in the back of my truck, and I never thought anything of it. So the day I really get back and I'm, shoulders feeling good, I go inside of a salon, and like, there's no soap. Like when I put the bucket, the sleeve in the bucket, like work all the soap through, I put it in the glass. There's no suds coming up. I'm like, I put a lot of soap in this bucket. Like, what's going on? And then I just start cleaning, not even noticing. And the lady comes up, she goes, I don't know what it is. But she goes, it smells really bad in here, and it's whenever you got in here. I'm like, oh, I don't know what that could be. I don't know. But I was just like inexperienced. I just didn't know. And all of a sudden, I just smelled my sleeve, and I was like, oh my God, like this thing smells so bad. And it would just sit in the back of my truck, just building up like over months and months and months. And you know the smell. Like anybody in the chat, they know that bad sleeve smell.
Dude, and you don't get it out of there. Those are ones you throw away. Like you don't wash that out.
Yeah. So then I didn't do the inside of that job. I left. So yeah.
I got a 13-story building. Actually, this was a contract that I got, and it was ended up being like 27 buildings, but like the first one that she wanted to see if we could do was a 13-story building, by the way. And it was all because the guys smelled so bad that the business complained. It was like a courtyard or a courthouse, and they all just complained so bad to them that they got rid of the window cleaners and they got the contract.
Oh man, that's got to be the worst. Man.
Yeah. So, I mean, just saying, if you're stinky, maybe not be stinky.
Yeah. Yep. Have a little cologne in the car. Why not?
That's a t-shirt right there. If you're stinky, why not be not stinky? Yeah.
Don't be stinky. Don't be a stinky guy. Oh man, we totally got away from all the questions. Sorry guys.
Yes.
But, that's fine.
It's the first time we've ever done that.
Oh, here's a really great question from Victor Gruel. Who forgets equipment at a client's? I'm always leaving a water bottle or towel. Man, when I leave like a towel and then they text me, I say, well, now it's yours. That's a present. Like I never go back and get it. I've forgotten vacuums. I've forgotten brushes. And I'm just like, it's yours. Or I'll pick it up like the next year I go to that home. I'll be like, do you still have that? I'm like, oh, yeah, I still have it. It's out in the garage. Here you go. I'm like,
I love when people are like, well, you remember, your brain is like a lock. You probably would remember that. But I love when somebody's like, oh, let me wipe that down. They go in their clubber and they come back with a blue microfiber. And I'm like, that was one of mine. I left it here. We left it here. Worst story I ever had. And it was just a pole. But it was a 3-section Ettore. Like it was just a pole, but it upset me so much. It was this like office building. We had to be out. Like their janitorial staff came in, so we had to be out, so we weren't like all tripping on each other, right? And it was totally cool. Like, we've done this job for a long time. Like, we're always over there. Like, high five these guys. Like, they're super cool. We leave, go out to the parking lot, pack everything up, and I'm like, we're doing the check. I'm like, oh, where's the pole? We left the pole, whatever. Go back into the literally in the parking lot, come back in, pole's gone. I talked to the guy, I'm like, dude, we're just looking for that pole. I think you guys might have said it somewhere. He's like, no, we haven't seen it. I'm like, it's just a pole, bro. Like, give me my pole. It was just right there by our pile of stuff. I was outside for like literally 2 minutes. Where's the pole? He's like, nah, if we see it, we'll let you know. It was a pole. It was a pole.
I had a guy at a dealership do that with one of my first trad poles. I went out to my car to grab some. I was still cleaning. And he put it in the janitorial closet. And I was like, where is it? He's like, oh, I just put it right here. Well, I'm not a part of your janitorial crews. I don't know why you're grabbing my stuff. Like, why are you doing that? I've had a few of those too, though. I had an 18-inch master brass squeegee that I lost at a home back in 2013. And I did that home all the way up to 2020. And every single time I cleaned that home, and we did it every single month, I looked for that squeegee. And I never found it. I had a Unger 40-degree handle with a 12-inch Sorbo Quicksilver channel in it that I lost at a home. We did that home for like 6 more years after that. I looked for it every single time I went there. There's one other one that I did that I had lost. Oh, I don't know what it was. But man, yeah, I was like, I get so like with my window, like I have like the same handle that I've been using with my Mower tube. I've used that for like, I think was the first one I ever got. Like I get very attached to those kind of items. And then I'm like,
oh yeah,
I can't use anything else. Like I have my one lime green trad pole. I have a bunch of other ones, but that's the one. That's it. If I ever lost that one, I'd be so pissed. I don't care that I have other ones. I'd be so mad.
Doesn't matter. We did find a squeegee in a gutter one time on a second floor. And it was like the talk of us for like 2 days. Like everybody was like I wasn't on the job when they got it, but like he took pictures, like we're just trying to figure this out. And what we figured out was he had a bucket on a belt on, and he was getting back on a ladder from walking. It was like a relatively flat roof to like these dormers. And as he was getting back on, it must have like knocked out of his thing and into the gutter, but he didn't see it. So we went back up there, and there's just a gutter, like leaves and everything, and there's just like a squeegee in the gutter. And like, yeah, I don't remember even who got blamed for that one, but
you can't blame anyone for that. What happens?
Did somebody steal it and throw it up there? No, come on. Have you ever found like in gutters? Have you ever found like bowls and like glass pieces and stuff where you're like the kids were like smoking out their window and like threw it and it gets in the gutter and then you find it stuff?
Wow, I haven't found any of that.
We found tons of stuff in gutters. We were like, somebody was trying to hide this and it just like rolled down and went into the gutter.
Yeah, I used to find a lot of really weird stuff when I was a mover. That was a very interesting time. Like, oh, we're gonna go grab your bed. You lift up the mattress and something funny under the mattress. Put that mattress back down. Hey, we're gonna go back in there a little bit. You may want to go in there and just
check under the box everything up. You might want some bubble wrap for what's under the mattress there.
Chris asked about if anyone in here was doing Christmas lights. We talked a little bit about Christmas lights earlier, Chris, and I love Christmas. I'm just not a fan of doing Christmas lights. I'm actually amazed at some of the things I see you guys do who do Christmas lights and how you guys figure it out. Like I'm always amazed. This might sound really weird. I'm always amazed at painters and how high they get at houses and the nicks and crannies they get into. Yeah. So like I'm always astounded at like how did you get the Christmas lights like perfectly? The whole wiring of everything. That to me, like I'm not good at that kind of stuff at all. That's why I would never get into it. I would for surely burn down someone's home and I'd be super sad on Christmas.
So there's an interesting concept, and I can't remember the exact numbers, but it's every feet away is a degree down. So like when you are a painter and you're at the very top, you can paint it like 50% quality and it just looks amazing because you're so far away. It's like billboards. Billboards have a thing like if traffic is 600 feet away, the lettering has to be XYZ. If it's 700 feet, it has to be XYZ. Like there's this weird like optical thing where your eyes just like blared over. So maybe it's the same thing with Christmas lights.
I don't know, man. I mean, the thing, yeah, $2,000 a day in Christmas thing. That's what Chris is doing. It's insane. That's awesome. Like, and like we talked about this months ago on here, the residual that you'll get because you own those Christmas lights. You paid for it that one season.
Those are rehangs. he's already paid for those lights. He's already trimmed the lights, and he's got them in boxes. He just goes, oh, you're Mrs. Jones. Okay, 1874. Let's pull it up. Let's go install it. It takes you 10 seconds because you already cut everything. You're just putting it back up, and they love it.
Here, though, like I was talking about earlier, jellyfish lighting is super popular. Like everyone in our neighborhood's getting that. But the actual of people, like I don't ever see any ads in my area for people hanging Christmas lights. I don't know.
I've never heard of jellyfish lighting until about 20 minutes ago.
Man, you got to look it up. It's a big business.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Eddie Stewart, you are very, very welcome. You're very, very welcome. I think that it's the first time Eddie's been on here. Maybe not the first time, the second time.
I don't know that that's the real Eddie Stewart.
I think
that's just Eddie S.
Thank you, Xero, for your autograph. Steve Xero, Eddie S.
Could be.
I think it's Eddie.
Could be. I think Eddie is just when Chris and Alex combine into one, and then they go online, they form Eddie. That's just what I've heard.
Shape. What is it? Shapeshifter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could be shapeshifters. Actually, I got to hang out with Alex tomorrow, so we'll tell you if it's Chris.
I'm jealous.
If Chris isn't around for the next 2 days, just saying.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, hey, are you guys going to be sharing anything from going there, or do you want to talk about that at all? Or
maybe. I mean, it's like pretty boring. Like it's more of a product stuff.
But what is it again? You're going to like the largest.
It's ISSA. ISSA is the largest cleaning conference in the world. If not, like the trade show is so big that it takes 2 full days to make it through the trade show at like sprinting speed.
Man,
it's giant. But it's also like, vacuums and trash cans. Like Rubbermaid has like a, 120 by 120 booth. Like, these booths where we always complain about, oh man, it costs $5,000 for that booth. These ones are like, $15,000 to be able to put your sign up. So this is a whole different thing. But we're trying to find some new, gear, just seeing what's out there and doing that kind of thing. We'll never exhibit there. It's just not our digs. We're too niche for that. But
yeah. Could you imagine?
Oh my gosh. I couldn't. For those guys too, that's the big show where they're like, all the people who are at that show take the next week off. They're like, I can't do that much talking and that much on. And then.
But that's where like Unger, big companies like that have booths of like everything, janitorial equipment, just like their whole gamut, right?
2-story booths. And like, my dad worked, he retired now, but he worked at a company that made exhibits. And one of the companies that he did work for, their budget for just not the booths or the staff or just the exhibit booth, because they redid it all the time, was $7 million a year. That was their budget that they would do just to put the booth together. There was like TVs, and then one year they had like a 2-story high fireplace all in rock, and like,
wow,
they just go crazy. So money's a lot different when we go to the shows and we're like, yeah, I got 6 Squeegees that I want to carry in because I don't want to pay you guys to do it. Yeah. It's a different world is all.
Hey, let's end this with a good question from Hallman Window Washing. It's a good question. Let me why am I copying and pasting this? When you go from solo operator to start hiring and replacing yourself, do you expect to lose money first year or 2 with your personal salary? I would say that I would expect it for just a tad.
Not a year.
Yeah. I mean, definitely during the slow time, I would say, it's hard. Because I would definitely expect to lose a little bit as you kind of, you're giving them the work you're doing, and you're going out and selling, hopefully, to create more work and then being able to hire on someone more. But that all kind of levels out. But I do think it takes time, but I don't feel like it would take a year.
Yeah. I've
never been in that situation, I guess I would say, that I've ever had to look at it that way.
It's so minimal because say you're paying somebody $20 an hour. Okay. That's with like, say you put fees and everything and your new start might be at $15 an hour. So with everything, it's $20. You technically lose $20 an hour starting off that you would have made. But can you not find $20 worth of stuff to do to get that back? Like, you could go and increase your SEO. You could go and do backlinks. You could go and cold call or route sales or all that stuff. So you're talking about maybe 2 weeks of training you're losing if you're doing the training, and then 2 weeks to kind of recoup. So maybe a month you'll maybe lose a little bit of money, but it's the only way to grow.
It's a scary thing to do, but
yeah,
it's worth it. It's definitely.
As soon as you're like responsible for somebody else, it changes the game. I remember when not my first employee, but the first employee I had that was having a kid while he was employed with me, it was like terrifying. Like I was sleeping for like 2 hours a night because I'm like, this company's gotta make it. So I'm not even thinking like if this guy messes up, then I'm gonna fire him. But like I have to do this because now there's like all these kids that I gotta like take care of. Oh, I can't, so
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot. Got to be a certain person to deal with it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm only 22 years old and I look like this. That's because of the stress.
You're 22?
Yeah.
That's insane. That's a lie.
This is age of this is owning business look right here. If I don't move my forehead, then all my old wrinkles will go away.
Oh man, I got crow's feet like you wouldn't believe. I got like 10 crows in the corner of my eye. It's the saddest thing ever. Don't worry about it. I hear about it every day from my wife. But yeah, you got your cool glasses.
Now you don't have crow's feet. See?
Anyways, we are almost done here. But do you have anything else to share, sir?
Oh yes, every time. Yes. If you haven't yet gotten a subscription to the American Window Cleaner magazine, go and do that. I usually try to find pictures of Steve on the cover, but he's in pretty much all of them anyway because he's takes the best pictures out of anybody. But if you haven't gotten a subscription, go to awcmag.com, get a subscription.
Yes. And there is a link always in the description too.
Yeah, and if you didn't yet, which a lot of you have not subscribed to SteveO's channel, you're literally on SteveO's channel right now. Click the subscribe button. He's trying to hit a momentous 40,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and it's coming up fast. So
yeah, and I'm not doing I usually do a December giveaway. I am waiting till we hit that 40,000, and then I'm gonna do it, which will probably happen in December at some point. I hope it happens before the end of November.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Do you remember when you hit 30,000? That was like just yesterday. You're like, dude, I can't believe it's 30,000. There's no way I'll ever get to like.
It was a cool one. It was like 10,000. Like Luke and I used to talk back in the day. And we were like, actually, Luke mentioned this. He said, I think 10,000 is pretty much the limit for like the window cleaning world. And now you see people with, it's a regular thing now to be over 10,000. But that's cool because it's the growth of like the community of.
That was a stab right there.
Yeah.
I still remember when you're like, dude, I don't know why everybody doesn't do these Instagram videos. You put up an Instagram video, get like 30,000 views. Yeah, if you're SteveO, you do.
You gotta soap that window up. You gotta extra soap.
I need to use more soap.
Somebody said in the video that I dropped a bunch of videos on TikTok, and one of them got, I think, like 3 million views. And then everyone was just saying on there, wow, you're going to have a lot to clean up after that because there's so much soap suds like everywhere. It's like having fun. Great. I literally sat outside of like the window cleaning, like of their warehouse when we were out there because we were like I was just
so much soap
forever. So for so long.
It was like down the brick and on the ground. Like it looked like you had a snow machine. It was great.
You couldn't see the rocks anymore. It was just white. It was like a white ocean. It was great.
It's great.
It was amazing. We will be back. Actually, I had to talk to you about in 2 weeks' time, so it may be 1 week out from there, but we will figure that out. And man, you all we won't see y'all before Thanksgiving, so that's crazy. That's insane that we're already next week is Thanksgiving. So
our next show is not going to be till like almost December.
Yeah,
like December. That's winter in my head.
Yeah, that's crazy.
By the way, real quick, if you are watching the live right now, 15% off of any system. If you call Steve right now, he can actually get you 15% off of any pure water system. And that ends in like literally hours. So
hours. All righty, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Go Broncos.